Nous allons
Michel.
maintenant écouter
Now we shall
et
hear
voir
and
l'intervention
see
de son Excellence
the statement
Monsieur
of His
Abdou
Excellency,
Diouf,
Mr. Abdou
secrétaire
Diouf,
général de l'Organisation
Secretary General
internationale
of
de la
the
Francophonie.
International Organization
Comme
of
vous le savez
Francophonie.
tous,
As you all
il a
know,
également été président
he
de la
was
République
also
du Sénégal.
President of the Republic of Senegal. The sharing of a language is both a pleasure and an honor for me to be able to address you on the occasion of this important conference on linguistic diversity. As the International Language Year draws to a close, I'd like to pay warm tribute to the Secretary General and the Director General of UNESCO for their commitment to all languages and all cultures. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as I speak to you, hundreds of millions of men, women, and children must, as they've always done, deal with famine, poverty, illiteracy, endemic disease, deadly conflict. It is more than ever our duty to do everything we can to see to it that development, human rights, security, and peace remain at the heart of our agenda and international cooperation. But it is my conviction that we should be even more ambitious and anticipate the unprecedented changes which are on the horizon in order to eliminate their harmful effects, which may be irreversible. To anticipate the future is a matter, first of all, of preserving what should be part of it, particularly cultural linguistic diversity, so that citizens, peoples, and nations can preserve their heritage, their points of reference, and their own genius. To anticipate the future is also to become aware that laissez-faire and letting events take their course in this area ultimately may do serious and lasting damage to the values we all champion and the goals we pursue. Because prejudicing multilingualism is to damage democratization and international relations. Can we, on the one hand, champion the principle of equality among states, and on the other hand, allow in international forums, which are specially designed for enabling states to have dialogue and cooperation, can we see the development of practices which actually hinder the participation of all and speak the language of their choice? In other words, any failure to respect the equality of languages, official and working languages, any linguistic discrimination is liable to taint the quality of dialogue and cooperation, which are the very foundation of multilateralism. To damage multilingualism, to undermine it, is to undermine development. Can we, on the one hand, undertake commitments, ambitious goals for the millennium, and on the other hand, to allow to develop a linguistic fracturing which would hinder effective access on the part of all to information and education? It is only through enlightened multilateralism that we will be able, 60 years after the adoption of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, to ensure the widest possible dissemination of the values we champion and promote their adoption everywhere by all. It is only in this way, again, that we can increase the effectiveness and the full ownership by beneficiaries of the programs which have been developed by offering them information, technical assistance, and teaching materials in a language they can understand, or better still, whenever possible, in the language they use. It's only in this way that we can give full expression to the supreme goal of the United Nations, namely the maintenance of international peace and security. I would like to remind you that more than 50% of peacekeeping operations are in French-speaking countries today, and Francophonie has demonstrated in this area to what extent the sharing of a language, but also of values, can contribute to the establishment and promotion of dialogue, to true understanding and interaction among different stakeholders. To damage, to undermine multilingualism ultimately is to damage an intercultural dialogue which will be balanced and fruitful, and it alone can prevent the temptations of closing in on oneself. It's in this spirit that Francophonie has tried to cooperate with all the major linguistic areas, because strengthening understanding among peoples, promoting the exchange of knowledge, values, and positive experience is to take the best path to establish unity and diversity and international understanding. It's for all these reasons that it's vital for all of us to take action to give life to the principle of multilingualism. International awareness is on the rise. Essential steps have been taken, both in terms of norms and in machinery. I'm thinking particularly of the appointment of a multilingualism coordinator at the United Nations and a multilingualism commissioner in the European Union. But it's not enough to try to protect multilingualism. What we have to do is animate it by promoting, in particular, the learning of the major languages of international communication, but also by supporting, as Francophonie is doing, the learning and preservation of local languages. But what we need above all is imagination, the will, and the conviction of all of us, so that multilingualism can finally be part of our lives that it deserves to be. That is, a source of dynamic enrichment and seen thus as a source of progress. It is my wish and hope that this conference will constitute a special and solemn moment for sharing and reaffirming together this conviction, and hence reaffirming our historic responsibility vis-à-vis future generations. Thank you.